And Caitlin from the logo. Caitlin, how about from here? They got the Kelseys in. They got the Kelseys in. Even Lisa Bluter.
That excitement right there is completely genuine, and it's about to turn into what Nike executives are calling their biggest signature shoe launch for a new athlete since Kevin Durant's first sneaker, with Caitlin Clark's signature shoe officially set for a spring 2026 release. What makes this different from every other WNBA signature shoe before it is the level of impact and attention around it, and honestly, I love it, I genuinely do, from every angle. I have to admit, I think Nike initially did a poor job hyping Caitlin Clark the way they should have, but since then, they've really stepped it up, and I truly believe they've done a good job correcting course.
Yeah. Yesterday I released one video and I'm like, man, this has been a complete dead period. It has been a complete dead period when it comes to Caitlin Clark Nike. And I cannot wait until Nike start actually selling Caitlin Clark merch in Europe. Because if you guys don't know, the customs and taxes is just not worth it right now. To buy any of the Caitlin Clark logo stuff, and you better believe it. I promise you this. I have quite a decent chunk of money. A decent chunk of money set aside for when Caitlin Clark merch actually starts selling.
At least one video. He said there is at least one video. And I'm like, man, this has been a complete dead period. It has been a complete dead period when it comes to Ken Clark Nike. And I cannot wait until Nike starts actually selling Caitlin Clark merch in Europe, because if you guys don't know the customs and taxes, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it right now to buy any of the Caitlin Clark logo stuff. And you better believe it. I will, I promise you this. I have quite a decent chunk of money set aside for when Kate Clark merch actually starts selling in Europe.
You can see here ahead of her 2K or 2026 CC collection launch, and it says here as well from Twitter account Nick DePaula, Caitlin Clark's anticipated signature shoe is expected to launch spring.
Ahead of her 2026 CC collection launch, it has been reported by Nick DePaula on X, formerly Twitter, that Caitlin Clark's anticipated signature line is expected to debut in spring 2026. Clark said, "Nike is an all-time great, and I'm incredibly proud to join some of the best athletes in the world. I'm excited to share the first look at what we've created together. The collection is expected to be announced soon, and anticipation is already building for what it will look like."
Nike signature roster is all-time greats, and I'm incredibly proud to join some of the best athletes in the world. I'm excited to share a first look at what we've created together. This is going to be announced soon. I mean it. It is going to be announced soon, and I'm looking forward to it.
I don't really know why I like her shoes so much. Maybe it's because of when and where I grew up. As a kid, I always wanted the Nike Mercurial Vapor football boots, because I think Ronaldo wore them, and they also looked a bit like the Air Max Deluxe. For me, Aya Wilson's shoe really reminds me of those Mercurial Vapors from around 2004 to 2005, and the way Nike redid the Air Max Deluxe also makes me think of her shoe. Either way, I really like Aya's shoes.
They are her shoes, maybe because of when I grew up, and like where I grew up and when I grew up. I always as a kid wanted the Mercurial Vapors as football boots. Because I think Ronaldo wore them. And it looks like Air Max Deluxe as well. For me, the A'ja Wilson shoe really reminds me of like the football boots that I really liked, really wanted as a kid. The Mercurial Vapors from like 2004, 2005. I think A'ja shoes really reminds me. And I really did like the Air Max Deluxe, which kind of reminds me of the A'ja shoes as well. Either way, I really like the A'ja shoes. And
I think Nike is absolutely going to nail this, because they have a strong track record with their signature shoes, especially in women's basketball. In fact, I think they've hit on almost everything this year. I really like LeBron's latest model. Are they the LeBron 23s this year? Whatever the number, I'm a big fan of them.
Are absolutely going to hit because they do have a tendency to do it. They have a tendency to hit when it comes to their their signature shoes, especially for women's basketball. And by the way, like, I think they hit this year on everything. I like LeBrons. I like the LeBrons. I like the LeBron James. Is it the 20? What is it? Is it 23s this year? I like the LeBron 23s.
Nike could even take inspiration from something like the Kobe 6, making Caitlin Clark's shoe distinct but incorporating a subtle detail like a snakeskin-style pattern. I don't know exactly what direction they'll go, but the sky is the limit, and Nike knows this is their biggest sneaker launch for a new athlete in a long time. The last comparable signing in terms of hype might honestly be when they first brought in Kevin Durant, and he was absolutely that big at the time. Now you have Caitlin Clark, who will soon be releasing her own Nike sneaker. Hopefully we'll get more concrete, official information soon instead of just speculation from random tweets, but an announcement feels imminent even if the actual release might come later.
Kobe 6, where it's enough different, but maybe you give the snakeskin pattern or something along those lines, and I don't know. I really don't know what they're going to do, but I think sky is the limit for Nike with this. And they know that this is their biggest sneaker launch for a new athlete that they have had since... Geez, I'm trying to think. When do you think the last athlete that's comparable to Caitlin Clark that Nike have had? I would say you realistically might be going back to when they first got Kevin Durant. And yes, Kevin Durant was absolutely that big back then. But like, you are probably looking at Kevin Durant-esque. And you've now got obviously Caitlin Clark, who is releasing her Nike sneaker, and soon. It's going to be soon. So hopefully we can get more news on that, more official news, and it's not just speculation from a random tweet. We can get more official news soon, but it's going to be soon. There's going to be some announcement soon. Whether or not they're released soon, I don't know. But there's going to be some announcement soon.
This isn't just about one player getting a signature shoe. It's about what Caitlin Clark's Nike deal means for the WNBA and women's basketball overall, and what it signals about who major brands now believe can drive mainstream sneaker culture. Financially, her reported 8-year contract is NBA-level money, the kind of investment Nike only makes when it expects a significant return based on decades of data about who moves product and has crossover appeal. Culturally, her deal challenges the long-standing narrative that companies don't back WNBA players because there's no market. It shows that Clark's ratings, with regular season games drawing around 3 million viewers, have created leverage to command contracts that reflect real market value rather than historical WNBA norms. If her signature shoe hits the way Nike expects, it sets a precedent that could open doors for other WNBA players, proving that women's basketball has real commercial viability when marketed correctly. But it also exposes an uncomfortable truth. Clark is getting this opportunity not just because of her talent and ratings, but because she fits a highly marketable profile: young, charismatic, exciting to watch, and, in a predominantly black league, white, which plays into how companies choose faces for mainstream campaigns. That's why Aya Wilson, a two-time MVP and champion with an excellent signature shoe, hasn't received the same global push, and why Breanna Stewart, one of the greatest ever, doesn't have a comparable major brand signature line. This dynamic creates tension and legitimate questions about equity, as some players reap exponentially larger benefits while others, equally or more accomplished, do not. The rising tide lifts all boats argument has some truth. League-wide ratings and sponsorships are up, and future CBAs will likely mean higher salaries, but in the short term, the gains are uneven, with Clark landing an 8-figure deal and global campaign while most player